She believed in love so deeply that she ignored the warning signs, and when her world fell apart, she realized that loving someone doesn't guarantee they'll love you back. In a quiet township on the outskirts of Lagos, there lived a woman named Adiz. To her friends and family, she was ambitious, kind, and hopeful, the kind of person who smiled easily, even on hard days. People often said she carried light in her heart, bright and steady, like a lantern in the dark. Adiz grew up in a modest but warm home. Her parents worked hard. Her mother sold akra by the roadside. Her father repaired electronics in a small shop. From a young age, Adiz learned that love meant sacrifice, but she also believed that sacrifice would be reciprocated. She believed that if she gave her best, someone worthy would give their best back. And then she met Chima. Chima was a rising businessman. He dealt in import-export, often traveling between Nigeria and Europe. He was polished, confident, intelligent, and charismatic. To Adiz, he was everything she had dreamed of, not just for stability, but for sincerity. When they first started dating, he spoke about his future goals: building a company in Nigeria, creating jobs, giving back to his community. She believed him. Their courtship was the kind of love story she'd only read about in novels: dinners under orange-hued street lights, long phone calls late into the night, shared laughter, whispered dreams. Chima was generous. He sent her gifts. He told her she was different, not just beautiful, but rare. He said he'd marry her. At 28, Adiz felt like luck had finally found her. Over the months, their bond grew strong. Adiz moved into his apartment in the city. She stopped working her small side hustle so she could support his business more directly, helping with record keeping, reminding him of clients, translating his English contracts into local terms. She never hesitated to give time, energy, hope, all her capital in a way. To her family, it seemed like the perfect match. Her mother was proud, her siblings were proud, and Adiz was proud. She thought she was building more than a life, she was building a legacy. But cracks were already forming. The first red flag came when Chima began traveling more often, not just for business, but for weeks at a time. He said it was growing demand in Europe, and yes, sometimes he had to go on sightseeing to nurture deals. Adiz would call him nightly, send him voice notes, sometimes even fly to his destination to surprise him. He reacted with joy, but a quiet joy, not the passionate longing she expected. He always hugged her, but sometimes his embrace felt like a courtesy, not a comfort. Then came the second warning sign: the money. Chima's stories about profits were vague. He told her they were reinvesting, buying new containers, scaling operations, but never showed her much documentation. He gave her small allowances, and she felt grateful. After all, he was building something, and she was part of that building. But she began to realize she'd never actually seen the profit numbers. She never saw him deposit large sums. Whenever she asked, he'd smile and say, "Ada, trust me." Love, she believed, was trusting. In her heart, she told herself, "This is temporary. He's building something big." She leaned into that belief, committing more. She quit her job completely and invested the little savings she had into his business. She started referring to him as my husband, though they weren't married, because in her mind, they already were. To her friends, she seemed radiant. To herself, she felt powerful, like she was the heart behind a dream. And then, over dinner one evening, she raised the question she had been too afraid to ask: "When will you marry me?" Chima's face softened. He reached across the table and held her hand. "Adiz," he said, "you know I love you. I promise, one day soon. As soon as things settle." She believed him. But things did not settle. Instead, they spiraled. In the following months, Chima's absences grew longer, phone calls became fewer. He said he was negotiating big deals in Europe, in Dubai, in America. But he no longer sent gifts, he no longer spoke of a wedding. Adiz's messages would go unanswered for days. "Busy," he would text back, or "in a meeting." One day, out of desperation, she followed him. She flew to Europe unannounced, surprising him at a hotel he'd told her was just a stopover. But the woman who answered the door to his suite was not her. She was someone else, younger, dressed in elegance, laughing freely with Chima. Adiz's heart cracked silently at that moment. She did not knock. She turned around, held back tears, and left without confronting them. When she returned to Lagos, she confronted him. The confrontation was nothing like she imagined, not dramatic, not cathartic, just quiet and painful. He said, "Yes, there is someone else." He paused. A long pause. "I care about you, but I cannot marry you." That night, Adiz cried until her bed soaked up her tears. She felt foolish, betrayed, and hollow. The love she had nurtured and trusted invested in was not returned. Her world felt like a house built on sand. She blamed herself. She replayed moments in her head, the dinners, the promises, the soft laughter. Where had she misread? Where had she given too much? She wondered. Does he love her at all, or was she only a dream he needed while he built himself? Her friends counseled her, her family urged her to move on. But she was stuck in that space between knowing and believing. She knew he had hurt her, but she believed there could be a way back. She believed that love deserved forgiveness. Forgiveness, she hoped, would heal her, but she didn't yet realize how deeply betrayal bruises.